So a popular clergywoman, Funke Felix-Adejumo's statement is causing confusion on social media. According to her, if you are the richest person among your friends, that relationship has expired, move on. What are your thoughts on this? Join the conversation and call us on 081-270-53687 or 091-390-76948. There's also a saying that if you have 5 friends that are poor, you are the 6th person. If you have 5 friends that are rich, you are the 6th person. Could that be what she was trying to say? Let me come to the ladies.
I actually did a video saying exactly what you just said.
Are you kidding?
And I've not posted it. Like, I'll post it before we finish the show because I was wearing a different dress. And I mentioned, because I mentioned like you are number 6. You are number 6 of those you hang around with physically, as well as virtually, as well as intellectually. So there is no... And I know that it's a controversial statement because people don't want, people will be like, oh, so does that mean that I cannot be with these people? Does that mean that I'm going to stay away from people that I grew up with and all of that? I feel that we must spend more time with our future than our past. And I have said it at several speaking platforms that you know what your future looks like and you deliberately spend time in that future. So all through this year, I've deliberately spent time with real estate people that have achieved far more than me in the industry.
Is that why you have dissed us? Yes, because you have. You have left us now.
I'm not serious. Please, let's be serious. So I deliberately, my mother was just laughing that I'm always saying I'm going for meetings, I'm going for meetings. I'm going for meetings and meetings because I just sit down and listen. And because I'm around them, I'm learning something. There'll be an example somebody would give, or maybe the way they relate with a staff, or the way they sent a mail. And I'll just be like, oh, this is what I should have done. There are things they cannot teach you in mentoring session that you just have to, there's proximity that would make it. And then scientifically, there's something called the brain osmosis, which means if I'm around you, I will assimilate our brain waves, like they've tested it. Our brain waves mirror each other if we're in the same space. So those things are beyond conversation. Scientifically, these things happen.
Okay. But based on what she has said, someone like you shouldn't be in that meeting because you have not made it up to those billionaires in the state. So they should throw you aside. So for me, I don't want to... I know some of these messages we get may be taken out of context. I want to just hope that she said other things apart from just being rich. Because if that's what she said, I don't know how many billionaires that we know that they are a group of billionaires best friends. They will have one billionaire, a couple of millionaires, and some who are not millionaires. So, you know, just based on that sentence, it does not make sense to me. But if she's saying that if you're amongst a group of friends and you're all hardworking, you know, or a group of friends who are not hardworking, who are lazy, then you are likely to be that person, that sort of person. I get that. So you need to make sure that you are in a group of friends that encourage you and push you, and sometimes even, you know, make you so uncomfortable, you just need to grow with them. So we need to find that kind of group of people. When we're growing up, our parents always ask about our friends. How is she? Okay, what did she come in class? You know? When you're growing up, you're like, why is she asking all these questions? It's because they want you to grow with people who are, you know, who are ambitious, who understand that hard work is important, who understand that integrity is important, people of good, you know, of good character. If you find yourself in that sort of group, you're blessed. My brother, I say, many of the things that he's doing right now, it could not have been just because he comes from our family. I mean, we were a struggling family, you know, just little means. My mom did her best. She sent him to school. But he found himself a group of friends, forward-thinking friends. The sort of things that my brother is doing, things, you know, he's achieving, is because he has a support group of good friends. They understand, see, all these things that are exciting to young boys now, they don't care. All they want to do is solve these problems and make something of themselves. So it's important that we have friends that encourage us that way. But you see, when it comes to wealth and riches, a lot of the times we put these riches to be the yardstick for success, the yardstick for happiness, you know, but there's just so much more in life than that. So if you're if you have a group of friends and all of them are kind and you are not kind, I feel that, yes, somehow you would learn, you should be the sixth person that learns the kindness. You know, if you are in a group of people that are all hardworking and you're not hardworking, then eventually you should be hardworking, or you fall, you know, somehow naturally you fall by the wayside because you can't keep up.
Nima, what are your thoughts?
For helping me put my thoughts out there. Because I saw the video, I saw the entire one. I saw people coming at her. Whenever I hear those kind of talks, like, you know, when you're a sheep, you're in a lion deck, I just block. Because I am someone that very humanity-inclined kind of thing. If you're not in that space, I want money, I want wealth. I'm working hard at it. I'm praying for the opportunities, but I'm not going to pick and select humans that are around me.
Based on that.
How
you want to achieve
and people have done it. Some people have done it and think, okay, later in life I'll deal with the consequence. If they are something they are not. The truth is, there are phases in life. If love, God, may God not test us. There are phases in your life. That wealthy circle will totally not be there for you. Hush puppy get money.
Who dey for am now?
People circle am.
What did happen now?
Now, who circle am?
Police. No, prisoners.
So the truth is, if the trial come,
I like that name.
so you build relationships, you build it so deep. You don't. My dad used to say, the reward is not from who you do it to. So you pay a good forward, and you're looking at that good. The good will come back to you. It doesn't have to be from where you paid it. And that's how building friendships. What I don't deal with in friendship is I've broken some friendships. I remember the relationship, but I'm not doing anything to start it again. I had one seatmate in secondary school. We were close. We were close till we married. And I did everything to find her when she lost her number. Imagine me in a public bus, and I sighted her husband in public. I jumped down from the bus, ran after him. Can I have your wife's new number? He knows our relationship. I was bridesmaid. And the guy walked away and nothing happened.
He didn't give you the number?
He said they will call me. I gave him, he said, give me yours. And nothing happened. And then I see at our reunion, and someone was saying to me, that you now, you're a TV person, or you're a Kineko. I was like, or from her? Can't be from her now. When we know the kind of weather and gari that we have drank. So, you know, I miss it. But I'm just waiting. But doesn't mean that I don't know how that complex thing came and think, okay, no, she's now exposed. But I'm still me. And people around me know that I don't have class. I don't know how to do it. I don't go to school. I'm just me. But, you know, people would do that. The moment the opportunity comes back, I will reinstitute that friendship, because I had thought that as we were growing up, we're not of the same faith, so that could have also put us apart, but it didn't. I was thinking, when we were growing up, our kids will be friends as well. That's how I build relationships. I have best friends that my kids will say, okay, it's somebody's house, because that's we do get together. Whatever I need to do to keep relationships, I do with them, but I don't believe in whether you're wealthy or not. You can be wealthy.
Thank you so much, Nima. Let's take a break. When we come back, we take phone calls and messages. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So I saw the clip, and I saw just the few minutes that was cut out. I wish I saw like the entire sermon, so that I wouldn't be, so that I will understand the progression and the context. But the bits that I saw worried me, because I felt the example that was given was not put in a way that. So I'm trying to be very careful of the sort of mentality we have around us, the sort of young men and women. Our generation is different. The generation we have now are those people who are, we must make it at all costs, and all of that. So when I want to pass such a message in its a certain setting, I need to be sure that I'm not saying something that somebody will take out and use in a bad way. So the example of Joseph, that he deliberately made friends with people who had the king's ear, was not it for me. For me, Joseph's talent, his dreams, stood him out. Because he told the dream, and because God gave him that talent, he was able to use it, and they remembered him. So for me, if the focus was on walk your way, get skills, get talented, so that your work will make people who are wealthy before kings. Thank you. People who are wealthy will notice you, and then you have an opportunity. They give you a platform to shine, than for you to, for me, it seemed like deliberately scheme your way to reach people because of what you want to benefit. So I don't know if that makes sense.
I actually, I feel that you never approach value empty-handed. You must always groom yourself and grow yourself before you approach value.
I like that.
And I think that we must always put that forward, that people should be more focused on building their own value before going to say you want to go and meet somebody. So I mentioned, my first statement was that, I had meetings deliberately with people that have established a whole lot in real estate. And it's not a suck-up relationship. It is that we must be intentional about what we want to achieve. So as a coach and as a growth coach, I teach on planning the growth you want to achieve, planning your steps, looking and evaluating. And when you set the goal, your next step is to evaluate where I am. Even the Bible says that we should check who we are sitting with. You don't sit with the scornful and say you want to attract grace. You don't sit among thieves and in the den of thieves and say that, oh, you want to be a shining star. So you must look at, where am I? And sometimes you might find yourself, and it's not disparaging to anybody, that the people I'm hanging around with do not have any plans, and you have done your best to say, bros, oh yeah, let's read this book. Let's go for this course. Let's pay for this program. Oh yeah, listen to this audio. Take this book. I have people I'm mentoring. Ready. I give them things. They will not read it. I'll send them videos. They will not listen to it. I will stop relating with them because I realize that you are unwilling to grow. For me, it's not about arrival. It's about a consistent progression upwards. Yeah. So, and I also don't like this thing that happens with people, this excessive affiliation with financial wealth, because the truth is, Mrs. Mariah's mom, the statements that were following was not because she was the richest person in the world. Auntie Yenny were always talking about, and everybody talks about her. It's not because she's the richest person in the world. It is the heart that gives. It's the heart that has value. So when we put so much emphasis on being financially comfortable, we are losing the values that are more important to our society. And it shouldn't happen from the church of God. All messages should be focusing on value-driven as opposed to financial benefit. And we do need money. We cannot overemphasize that, but we must let money be secondary to value addition, impactful life, and those are the things that must be the forefront of every relationship that we're building. And Nima, there are times when it's not about arrogance when you break off relationships. Sometimes it is for your own sanity, and we've discussed it several times here. And there's some relationships that being in the right circle is the only reason the doors open for you. And those are also valid reasons. Like you are just in the right place. No, I know. I'm not responding to you. I'm just buttressing.
No, but you said that Nima, so that means you missed the point.
Okay.
You missed the point. I am talking about forging relationships, no matter wealth or poor. Back then in school, when we were looking for admissions, everybody wrote their jam and wanted to go to OAU. Only for fast forward, my sisters all made it to OAU with their admission. Only later for us to meet someone, and all his sons got admission. He was a security officer in school. And I knew a prof. I have a father in OAU till tomorrow is a professor. So it is not about class. You build relationships wherever you find them. And relationships are beyond wealth. That's what I said.
I agree.
That's what she's saying.
No. But you said, you've said on the show before, you have to let go of some relationship. I did not go there. You understand? Yeah. If a relationship is not working for you, you want to let it go, it's a different thing. But it will not be because the person is poor.
I butchered. That's what I said. That you're for sanity. That you said
so
it.
don't.
Let's
I think we did not understand ourselves.
No, me, I understand, but don't
we continue this conversation. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. Okay, for me, I feel like the discussion is going towards business partnership and not really friendship, you know. And some of us have a way of separating the two. So we can be business partners, but we're not necessarily friends. We can be colleagues, but we're not necessarily friends. So when it comes to business partnerships, I understand what you're saying, that you have to work with people who have it more, where you can learn one or two things from them. But when it comes to friendship, for instance, people you have grown with, and all of a sudden, you now became like the superstar amongst them, you became the richest among them. Is it okay now to feel they are not at par, we're not at par anymore, and begin to leave them behind because you do not want to be drawn back to poverty or whatever it is? That's my question.
So one thing is that the superstar amongst them is what I would expect an outsider would describe maybe one of the friends, but not the friend within the friendship describing themselves. Do you know how your friends cut you to level? When they remind you of your Gary drinking days. I mean, even just being on TV, yes, would, you know, not to be shy about it, but we have friends who will be like, you're now on TV, and there are some friends I'm like, why are you acting like a fan? I mean, I get upset. I'm like, why would you send me that? Yeah, I'm like, why would you send me that message? Are you a fan or are you a friend? Do you understand? You're my friend. So there are some things you will have a conversation with me because you know me behind this makeup and whatever. You understand that I woke up very late very early this morning. I woke up really dragging my feet because of so many other things that were going on. But I came and I put a face here, and you know those things. You understand my journey. So when we have these friendships, there was something that Nima said, something about phases. And yes, the beauty of friendship is that we allow that when somebody is weak, another person is strong for us. Do you understand that? When somebody needs help, we just need someone. If we're all weak at the same time, there will be no one to help us. If they're all strong, you know, then there's nothing we're really giving. It's okay. My fear is that sometimes we just look at money as the only thing that is important in life, or only thing that is important in friendship or relationships. There are just so many things. There was a time we talked about friendships, and people were telling us of how, yes, I may not be the one that has the money between my friend and I, but I'm the one that can be the most helpful. Yeah. I'm the one that is dependable. I'm the one that's reliable. They can call me at the drop of a hat. I'm off. You know, and if we were to use us here at this table, we'll tell you, if you find yourself in a fix, call Nima. If you're looking, if you find yourself in a rut and you're thinking, where do I need to go from here? Like career-wise, you know, I just don't even know how to chase this thing. Call Tokwe. Somehow she will figure it out. Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you sell this? If you're looking for a hype person who will hype you and encourage you and give you positive vibe, BC. Do you understand? So there's just always one person there for a while, not all the same. And because we're so different, we're helping each other in different ways. I hope that we find friendships where we're so different and so varied, but together, you know, we have one goal, which is we all want to grow, we all want to develop, and want to help each other. And you know the bigger thing about this, instead of just relying only on the money that we're going to make for ourselves, let's also think about the impact we make in our community and the people around us.
Let's take this call. Idowu from Ibadan. Good morning, Idowu.
Good morning, ladies in the studio. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you. You're live.
This is my first time of getting to
Welcome to the show.
I went to the anniversary thing yesterday. I was so emotional here. And I really want to encourage you ladies to keep doing the job that you are doing. I mean, there are people who may not appreciate what you are doing, but there are those of us who can't do without watching this program anywhere we are all over the world.
Thank you so much.
Talking about this topic, you see, the problem is that let us look at all the problems we have in this country. It is highly due to loss of value, cherished values which we grew up with. It's not about money. Friendship shouldn't be about money. It should be about value. Does this my friend share the same value with me? One of the ladies has talked about, I'm in a fix. Who is this friend that I can go to? He doesn't have to have money. My friend surprised me. There's one of my friends who says, if the Udo cannot solve your problem, you should just leave. And I don't see myself as that way. But that is the way he sees me, that, look, you need any information, you need anything, he tells anybody, go to Ido. He will do it. He has the information. He has the people who can do things for you. And of God and women of God should be stressing values in friendship. It doesn't have to be money. And all money is good. Yeah, you get you things and all the other things. But we must stress values. We must inculcate this, especially in the younger ones.
Thank you so much, Ido.
So I've been in a group where twice I've brought someone into, and I've seen in different settings the relationship hurry to one person that seemed to be powerful and one person that seemed to have more money. And I've watched. And I'm not bothered because I've learned that there are people that you would think, this person has more connection to help me achieve what I want to achieve. This is a person that is going to open the doors for me. What I've learned in life is it's only who God says will help you, will help you.
Yes.
Like, you can have the direct phone number of the president, and it is the security man that will open the door for you.
I'm telling you, sister.
So many people would say
Thank you.
It's not about that big person. And sometimes, and I've seen big people that have extremely poor people around them, and they've not helped those people. And then somebody will just walk into the scene and they help that person.
Yes.
So I think we need, as a society, to move from that place of, I want to, that rich person that is going to help me. Even when I started and I mentioned being around them, I don't have meetings with big people, to say, come and help me. Is that I would listen to you and see how you are doing what you're doing. And we must move into that phase where we are more focused on, it's not where you are, but we are
together. We are growing.
Yes.
So let me take this call from Wale. Wale from Ikeja. Good morning.
Sorry.
We lost that.
And then we pray that God should help us because it's not human beings.
So it's the grace that people enjoy. It's not the friendships. Not everybody will remember you.
Exactly.
It's who God puts your matter in their minds. So Tope just finished the work now. By this whole thing, you can be in a circle, surround yourself with them, and you'll be the sacrificial lamb. Do you understand? They would not need you until they need to use somebody. And you're there thinking, I'm in a circle of lions, I'm good, I'm that, and this.
But you're a lamb.
But you're a lamb, you're still a lamb.
A dove, no.
So like the story we talked about before we came back on the talent thing. So your use is what everybody in that circle is looking at. But if you bring an extra beyond that use, and you're in a circle where people understand the values the last scholar talked about, friendships, relationships, sacrifices. Some people now in this, listen to Mrs. Adejumo, will think that all you need to do is have rich friends. And they too will come with a selfish mindset to come and tap into that circle. You think people are stupid? Some people are wealthy and they know exactly where they were from
before.
So they're looking at you and thinking, how did we become close friends? And you're expecting them. We as influencers here get people who just come on your page, want to be friends, and they make demands. Immediately. Whereas you've had friends, you're struggling, you want to see better in their lives. They should be your priority. When you not make an exception, that person would joke with it, will abuse it. But the person who knows exactly what it is, the level of sacrifice you're making, would not do that.
It. Let's take this call from Abayomi. Good morning, Abayomi.
Good morning. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
All right, okay. Oh, I want to contribute to this topic you are discussing.
Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. My view on this, there will be different interpretations from different people on this topic. Mine on this, if you are the richest, if perhaps God has blessed you and then God has promoted you, what I think you should do that. See how many of those people you can raise up from among you.
God bless you.
Yeah, you can lift up. If you look at Joseph in the Bible, if you look at that time when Joseph was in prison, the family of Joseph too, they were poor somewhere in that country they were at that time because there was famine all over the world.
Yeah.
So, but when God promoted Joseph, God now says, Joseph now remembered his brother, they should come. And then he blessed them, he lifted all of them up. That's my own view. Yes.
Well done, Abayomi. On that note, let's go on a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Welcome back. We have Monyolua from Nsukka. What's your Yoruba girl doing in Nsukka? Good morning.
Good morning, Maz, and I want to appreciate you all for your good work.
Thank you.
My quick contribution this morning will be from that same statement. I want to look at it in this light. If that billionaire also something happens and that person becomes poor, that means your friendship with the other billionaires will automatically expire. And that is why we have people, when they are in trouble, sometimes they discover that there's no one around them anymore. So just like Sister Lima has said, money is the lowest value of wealth. And so we should look beyond what we will gain from others. Because what all goes around also comes back around. This life works in a circle. So we should look for that which we can add to others, the value we can add to others, than what we can get out of them. So that's my quick contribution.
Thank you so much, Moyolo. I love that. So there was this friend of mine who God used a cleaner in his office to give him a big job in another place. So what happened was he normally buys them lunch and everything. Sometimes when their salaries are cut for one of, all those agencies that manage all those cleaners, they find a way to cut. You did not sweep well, you did not do this, and then they cut their salaries. He will go, he will fight, he will petition, he will give them from his salary and all that. So everyone just loved him. Now the cleaner had to resign. In fact, she was sacked. And she left. And she now got a job in a bigger organization. And then overhead, the boss is saying that they are looking for somebody with so and so skill. He just put a call through to this young man and says, please, give me your CV. They are submitting, or sent a portal to him, submit your CV here. They are looking for so and so skill. And he submitted that CV. And that was how this guy got this big job. By somebody who was till today. This person is still a cleaner. This person is still a cleaner, but you see how it has gone. So I totally agree with you. But there's also this perspective that rich people themselves don't even like, keeping up with people who are poor because they are afraid they will drain them. They are afraid they will bring them down.
Person, no. If you are around parasitic mentality, they will drain you at any level. People who know you, that you are within a level of class, you have to now be establishing your boundaries and saying, no, me, I cannot drive big. So people will push you as rich friends to be like the Jones. So what they call that mentality? To be the Jones. You will live on loan. You will live on basic just to class up. So choose wisely.
That's what I say. I'm flying economy.
Let me take this call.
At least I fly.
We have a call on the line. Fred from Abuja. Then I'll come to Miriam. Good morning, Fred.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is my first time calling now.
Welcome to the show. A lot of first-time callers today.
Thank you. Well, I picked interest in calling. I watch your show like every day, but I picked interest in calling today because of the person in question. I mean, I love so many of her teachings, and I follow them. But then, the truth is this particular topic is something I dislike on some certain level. Now, wealth has nothing to do with relationships. Many a times, the wealthy people we see today grew up in crews, all at the same time, probably from childhood to secondary to university, and have spent time struggling together. God don't bless everybody at once. Most times, in a circle of friends, God picks one or two and bless. Now, your duty as a human being is this. You are to lift the rest, because the blessing of God comes from God to one man, then to other. So by the time you decide, okay, now I have 10 million. My friends don't have up to 100,000 each. Let me leave them and go and join other people that I can find somewhere that have 10 million each, and let's be friends. You've not impacted anybody at that moment. You've not. So what you do is find a way to look for friends within those 10 of your friends, and, find a way your 10 million can, impact them in certain level and lead them to a level where they can equally stand both. So they say in a convoy, let me say this last thing. In a convoy where you have a G-Wagon, it's a street language. In a convoy where you have a G-Wagon and you have 10 cars behind you as friends, then that is not a convoy.
True.
It's not a convoy at all.
We all have to be on the same G-Wagon to have a proper convoy. So G-Wagon, X-Class, and all that gives us a proper convoy. Miriam, please.
Yeah, okay, so sometimes there may be situations where you find that you're in a group of friends and all of a sudden you've been sidelined. You've been cut off and you don't know. It just happens gradually. Oh, we met somewhere and Nobody told me. Oh, nobody. Oh, so sorry. Oh, we've just built this huge edifice, business thing. You people did this, and how come?
I went on vacation.
Yeah, how come I didn't know about it? Why wasn't I informed? And then you find yourself gradually you have been
isolated.
Pushed out. Yes, and then some people would say it's because they realize that they are friends with money, and so they came together and they have sidelined me. But sometimes I'm saying this because sometimes we need to ask ourselves also the tough questions. It's easy to talk about all the things that people do against us. How about the things that we have done against people and we do against ourselves? When did we stop growing? When did they invite us to do something to grow ourselves that we give excuses not to do? So those are the things, and they look at, she won't even come anyways. She does not even want to be a part of it. Remember the last time, and before long, while they are growing towards achieving something, you've been left behind, not because they have now made money or they are now, but just because, you refuse to grow. But there's also another picture where it is some people, you find yourself in a group of people and they're growing a separate way than you're growing.
Your paths are not the same.
Your paths are not the same, and it's okay. It's okay to now finally bid them goodbye and say, okay, I understand why we don't seem to agree on some principle. Yes, I'll find your people.
Let me take this call from Moyo. Moyo from Oyo State. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend to you too.
Yeah, you women are doing a great job. You are very strong women.
Thank you.
I don't know how you ladies live beyond the trauma of SARS issue. Since that day, I've been having, when I saw the video, I've been having nightmares. I don't know how you do this, but the Lord has given you your strength. I celebrate you with you.
Thank you.
Anyway, to the issue, this idea of money idolatry, I don't understand how or where we went from. It's getting out of hand, and we are passing it to the other generation. We are making it look like as if money should replace character, or money should replace friendship. What is more important? There's a place for friendship, there's a place for money. Every human being has his own value. There are some values that some of your friends are giving that money cannot solve. And so these are the things that you should look at. Is this person compatible with me in helping me feel my goal? Money should not be the priority for friends. That is what this is where idolatry comes in.
Idolatry. Thank you so much, Moyo. Nima.
Thank you, Moyo. I wanted to just quickly add to what Miriam said. Not necessarily that people push you out. Sometimes you take yourself out, make yourself better, and come back in. So when 1999, when we got admission for a diploma in law, I had 4 close friends. I had 2 others that were still friends, all of us. And after a while, I just noticed that I had a family who insisted law or nothing. So every year we write jam. Every year we are finding law. Others went, they finished school, they did well. In fact, by the time I got in for my degree, one of them had finished medicine. Wow. So my body calmed down that when we are in the same circle and I force myself to parties, they're talking about school. And then like this.
Well, you're not in school.
I'm not in school. I don't know what 101 is. 102 was. But I didn't think that they did deliberately because they would discuss something. Maybe we should talk something. Yeah. So what I did was move out of the friendship. I just made myself scarce for a while till I got back to school. My school son was in 300 level when I got into 100 level. Wow. And we're still best friends. In fact, I'm jealous of his latest best friend. I'm seeing her status. I'm telling her until leaving.
Is he a guy?
He's a guy.
Imagine.
I had guys growing up. So we were still friends. When I got to the level that I wanted, I made calls and I made sure, okay, it's your wedding. I promise to be your best man. Yeah. I did just, unfortunately for me, if I had misunderstood it to be that they were pushing me out, I would have lost the best of friends.
That happens a lot in between singles.
Wow. So when you have your friend married, and I then got married before the girls, I was the first to get married. And I kept saying to my husband, we are still best friends with Faraway, I'm still best friends with Guinea Conkin. My husband forged a friendship with them as well. Everybody got married eventually. Exactly. Life not hard like that. Yeah, so sometimes in life, you take a step back.
Okay, build yourself up.
Don't destroy a beautiful thing by just, misunderstanding.
Let's take this call from Hassan and I'll come to talk. Hello, Hassan. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, sir.
And I'm happy for you. You are adapting seriously. Congratulations to Morayo.
Thank you, sir.
Let me make one thing very clear here. Governor of Borno State has said it all. He said there are Zulu friends and there are governor's friends. You see, the real friends are the friends you stand together. All these class troubling friends, all these business opportunities friends, all these fake friends. The friends are the ones you enjoy companionship with. And they are not rich, but you are happy being with them. So forget about trying to touch a moving train. Forget about trying to be an idiot. Be real, be frank, and be good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hassan. I love that.
I think that we all agree concerning the fact that friendship shouldn't be about money. We all agree that value should be what people should be preaching as opposed to preaching, hanging around wealthy people. But I have benefited from being around someone that has a different mindset regarding acquisition of wealth than me, you know. So, and he made a huge difference because I'm a shoe person. I'm a shoe person not because I have plenty shoes, but because I suffered of not having shoes. My legs are really big, I don't see shoes. So whenever I want to buy shoes, a deliberate plan, save up the money, buy the shoe. Then I saved up money. I'd already wanted to buy the shoe. And I called my friend, I want to buy a shoe. I'm going to order. I'm checking Macy's. Help me to check up these shoes that I should buy. He said, how much do you want to spend? I said, I have so amount of dollars. She said, well, you said you want to change your car. That was last year. I said, yes. He said, so why would you spend, you know, if you put this money down, it's already, you can buy the car you want to buy.
You want to buy shoe. You
want to now use what you used to buy car to buy shoe. And that statement gave birth to the car that got burnt anyway. But that was why I didn't buy the shoes then. I held that money, an opportunity came for a car, and I had a down payment for the car. Sometimes, you know, that it's important that we also evaluate those around us and realize that, okay, am I taking good counsel? Am I asking the right question? Because we make decisions and we don't ask. I don't want anybody to know what I want to do. You are losing out.
That evil eye
Sometimes you share some of those things because you know that you might be getting counsel, and ensure that you have people that have the right, like, Mariam, what you said is wisdom. Some people will have people around them that have strength, but you don't have the eyes to see the strength, and you don't have the wisdom to call them for the right thing for them. So you're asking Nima for wealth investments. Nima will tell you to give away. You know, like, so you need to know, have the ability to evaluate, and it's not bad to know that, okay, this person is what it is.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, the conversation continues. Stay with us.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So one of the things that has worked for me when it comes to friendships is that I have different categories of friends. So I don't batch everybody up together. I like to have people around me. If you come close to me, you know my house is always full. I like people around me. And they come in different categories. So I have the ones that, okay, they're okay. Like the way we are managing to be okay. We're all on that level. And I have the ones that are not doing so okay, but they like to come around me, and I find them interesting enough to keep them. I find they are good people, but it could be because of educational stuff and all that. And what I do is I try to ensure that I'm telling you, you can do this, you can take this, you can do that. If I see opportunities, I'm trying to empower them, you know. And somebody called me recently and said, if you know the number of people that are praying for you. I said, what do you mean? He said, every morning when I wake up, I pray for you because I know that if God blesses you, my case is settled, you know. So I have those categories of friends. But now, moving this conversation further, how do we begin to know good friends, identify good friends, and keep them so that we have people around us, even in old age? Old age is coming, you know. That's the truth. And it's lonely out there.
No, but that's when we are most honest with ourselves. You see, YK has taught me a big lesson. YK don't have friends of circle. All all friends.
Our friends.
Whatever days, New Era girls, this one girls. And if she can afford this, she'll do it for everybody. If she can't, she'll make herself available. Yeah. It's one person's birthday. I just have to go. I'm like, why do you have to go? Yeah. It's in old age we're telling ourselves the most honest truth. But friendships are built because of certain events.
Okay.
As children, we didn't need to find anything, so we just played along with ourselves and grew. As teenagers, maybe our changes and all of that. In the universities, classmates, some friends that you like their clothes,
you continue,
like minds and all of that. But when that starts the friendship, you then start to look at some of the sacrifices that you had to share. I have a friend, I'll call her name. She's a pastor's wife, Nancy, is up here. I remember the tears together every time. I'll be like, I can rain on somebody's Nancy's shoulders. The tears were many. And I don't forget
what you shared.
What we shared. So sometimes I'll be in that same circle, I'll be like, because we call ourselves terrible names when we talk. That nonsense girl there and now, I just put my hand and cried. Let her just carry the burden for me. Then you build like that, you continue to appreciate people like that when you grow. So if God blesses anybody that you were friends like that, you won't put the money as the peg. You put the relationships and those values as the peg.
Let's take this call from Joshua. Joshua from London. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Joshua. I'm calling from London. I want to thank you girls. I want to thank you ladies for what you've been doing. It's so very, 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 very interesting that you've been being very enlightening in all your everyday discussion about the public situation and whatever that is happening in Nigeria. On this topic, I want to appreciate every one of you ladies. You are a gem in this generation. You see, our country called Nigeria are really lacking in terms of awareness, in terms of values. And you see, your presentation every day, I believe if Nigerians will be watching your program, that country might have a good turnaround for good. People don't really have values for themselves anymore. The things that have of value have been eroded totally in Nigerian system and society. You see, people now appreciate lazy people that have gone out of their way, maybe one dubious way. There's no pride in hard work anymore. People just want to see if you have money, you are the person that they will respect. They don't respect people that are really working and making a living out of their life to be able to keep their head up, to be able to appreciate their life is not all about money. The topic you guys are discussing this morning, I want to listen to that Pastor Funke, and I wish when I come to Nigeria, I'm going to speak to her one-on-one. She's not a good role model.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Miriam.
Okay, so for me, the way I pick my friends is it has changed as, you know, someone grows older and mature. So for me then, when I was much younger, I used to think that to be my friend, you have to be completely, fully the sort of person that I need for I need in my life. If I catch a flaw, that friendship ends, no matter what other positives you have. But now that I'm mature, I understand we all have flaws, especially me, as in who am I? And the people that have chosen to be friends with me, love me, and have made sacrifices for me in spite of my flaws. So I've learned that, okay, I understand this person's strength, and whatever the flaws are, if they're not such a big, we can work around it. So but also, I'm not the sort of person to have so many friends. I'm good. But you know one thing that's funny? I have a couple of friends, but those my friends are the sort of friends, I would say I have a best friend, but then my best friend has 10 best friends. And I noticed that even though I've had these friends different places at different times, they all seem to have the same personality. They all seem to be alike, you know. So I gravitate towards people who are just naturally confident. I like kind people. I like people who, you know, want the best for you. They see you. They don't see you as competition, but they see you like, well, this together. I can't believe you've achieved this. So, yes. So I gravitate towards people like that. And I find that my friends, that different places, also, if you were to put them, they're like one person, you know. So that's how I make my friendships now. I understand now that we all have our flaws and we're all journeying somewhere. As long as our heart is pure and we're really in this for each other, then everything else can
will be all right. Last. Top where?
So I cannot come and be painting rosy picture. I'm not the ideal friendly person. That's the truth. I think that for me, the journey of friendship is something I have to always pray about. That's the thing. I don't have like, oh, this is the criteria of who is my friend. I just always pray that that God clicks me with the right person. And it's just very spiritual. I just meet someone and we just click. There are very few in the history of my life that I just met in school and we just clicked. It's not like, oh, this is this person's, I censored the character
or I was
deliberate. There was just something. I modeled for many years. There are plenty of people I met. Me and BC clicked. And the click is not like I need to see, like my Oluchi is my only friend from my university days and like the only friend, just one. I've not seen her in years. The last time I spoke with her, she lost her mom and I just called her. We spoke on the phone for hours. I know if I see her, she knows I love her from the bottom of my heart. I know she loves me.
All the time.
BC and I are like that. Just click. It's not plenty. And I know there are people like me that they don't have that retinue of friends. But I believe that if you're in that category, you must not be deliberate about adding value to many people's life, irrespective of your relationship with them. So I don't need to know you, your family, or anything to help. So I just feel like I'm sowing seeds everywhere. And I expect that God will always now bring in the right person for me. And I have enjoyed that grace exceedingly. Like, I cannot deny it. Places where I don't know anybody, I just go there. Somebody will just show up and say, I just want to help you. I say, thank you. I will receive the help because I know I've sown the seed.
So when you
across.
sow your seeds, that's not necessarily where you reap from.
No.
But it's harvest.
So I don't have any issues. And BC, you're not telling us about how your select. Oh yeah, you already answered first.
The selection
you have
of
your
category.
Andrew is upset with the point. Says we love money too much in Nigeria. What is even wrong with us? And
there's poverty in the land.
Good bit. I love this one. It says, and we in Nigeria always associate blessing with money. Money
blessing is people.
Not blessing. Money for some people in a cost. Someone loves Moyoluwa and says, I beg, I need Moyoluwa's number. The caller that, you know, they establish idealizing money. Billy King says, it could even be the value you add to each other that make either or both of them wealthy. Obsession with money is the reason people are desperate to get rich at all costs. Hence, an endemic problem of corruption from bottom to top in the country.
Let me take this call. Fadeke from Georgia. Good morning, Fadeke.
Good morning. I am so excited to be. I normally would wake up at this time just to work, and you guys are doing a wonderful job. Thank you. So, just briefly, I would say some of us have been alienated from our past, which really is I would say it's sometimes it's sad in the sense that we were raised in Nigeria and then we moved. Talking about friends, I would just talk about what happened recently. I lost my dad and I had to come home for the funeral.
Sorry about that.
And it was so pathetic that I could only reach out to just one friend that I could remember. So I can just imagine, not a whole lot of my friends here, of course, they're not from there. They're not going to come home with me. So I can imagine me just being with one friend. Well, thank God for my brothers and sisters that were, you know, still in Nigeria and had friends. So when we're talking tables or we're talking, I probably will have just one person. What I'm saying in that sense is no matter where we are, no matter where the past has been, I think there's a need for us to always link up with, you know, friends. Friends are very important. Of course, I'm not saying maybe, you know, choose them over, but the support that real friends, I say real friends because you have the real ones and you have the ones that, of course, will hurt you in the back. I have friends that reached out, you know, from the past, and all they needed was, you know, hook up, how can I do this, how can I get this, what they can get from you in that sense. But really, I appreciated the need for having friends and having to keep those friends that I grew up just for that purpose. So thank you again, and I'll continue to watch.
Thank you so much. So I know that the world is becoming very selfish now. People are beginning to look out for just themselves. What are some of the things that you do that makes you, first of all, to be a good friend? What are some of those deliberate actions you take that makes you a good friend? So for me, let me, you know, give like a background. I pay attention to feedback. So I love you in this relationship. I want us to be friends because I don't want to grow old and not have people I can just travel with. We're working towards making money now. We want to be rich too. Have people we travel with. Let's go to the Caribbean. Friends. I'm not talking husband and wife. I know that one is friends that we just hang out. We do things together. We invest together. I want to have that in old age. I really want to. And so I'm taking deliberate steps. And one of the things I do is to pay attention to feedback. So if I am your friend and you notice that there's something I do that you don't like, there's something I do that you feel will not serve me, and you tell me, I listen. I listen.
After arguing.
I will argue. Yes, I will argue.
You're not friends if you don't argue.
Yes, of course, I will argue and I will challenge you and all. But if you put it to me that this is what you do and it is not good, I will listen. I will pay attention and I will take deliberate steps to change it because I understand that you are telling me from a place of love you want me to be better. So what are some of those things you think we can begin to do to make ourselves good friends? If you're good, you attract good people. I believe in energies. What can we begin to do in friendships that it won't seem like it's just one person that is making that effort, that we are all in this together?
So naturally, I'm not, like I said,
you're not a friend person.
Yeah, I can stay by myself, genuinely love you, and like I might not see you every day. And I think that because God sees my heart, it's been really, really, he rewards that. I traveled and I didn't call anybody on the show during that break. My husband wasn't happy about it. He was like, why would that? You didn't check, you didn't even ask. I said, the truth is, I have prayer lists, and I prayed for them. I say, I have prayer lists for every day of the week. And the days he reach their turn, I pray for them. When he reach another person's turn, I pray for them. I say, so at the end of the day, that's me. But one of the things I've learned, that in order to be a better friend is to actually check on people. It's not, and because when I receive it, it feels good. You know, somebody says, I've not heard from you in a while. I just wanted to check on you.
How you doing?
I like it. So I think that regardless of your nature, we must now learn to, if you care about someone, check on the person. Ask them how they are doing. What I spot in people that I did not remember is if you see, like, mine must be tired of me. When I see anything, somebody is slimming, somebody is doing house, somebody is doing anything, I'll just forward it to her. If I see anything movie, I forward it. Like, support my business. If you see anything that has to do with real estate, I saw one course. Oh, Nima knows. That is my own friendship. You know what will help me grow. You push it to me. You see something that has to do with lawyer, I will say, Nima, do you do this thing for people? You do see your phone? Okay, I give them your number. I know Mariam does this thing. That supporting, helping each other to grow, for me, is a major thing to look out for.
Take this call. Tony from London. Good morning, Tony.
Where are the Nigerians today?
Abi, they are calling from London and America.
So sorry we lost you.
Oh,
so sorry.
No, I was talking.
Yeah. Okay, so the things that I'm learning also for me now as an adult, that is friendship, it comes naturally, but there are some things that you need to be deliberate about. Visiting people, calling people, those are things that make people happy. Because I'm the sort of person that I can stay on my own, in my house, and I don't need anything. I'm an introverted introvert. I love to stay in my space. I'm good. So I'll always make excuses about going out or going to go and meet somebody. But I've learned that those are the things that show someone else that you care and you love them. So I do that. Yesterday, to go for the service of songs. My husband was like, "You got to go." I'm like, "They won't miss me. Nobody's going to see me." Like, "No, you go. That's what friends do." I'm like, "Okay," but she knows. I say, "I know," but you show it physically. And, you know, even though I was in traffic for hours, it did not matter. I was happy. And then I was happy that I did. I was like, "Yay, I did a good thing today."
You ticked this box.
Yes, I ticked the box. So I'm learning that. And I'm also appreciating people who... there's something I find very difficult. I'm still working around it. I can't stand a friend who has a problem with me, but I hear the problem from someone else.
No, me, I don't like that.
So I find it so difficult to grow past that. So that's something I'm working on. So I have to now call you. But if you had this problem with me, why do I have to hear it from someone else? Why didn't you mention it to me? So
shout it to me, say, we argue and we will be fine last.
So me,
your final words were wrapping up.
When you talked about how we talk about things, some conversations bring results. Some conversations further break. So some conversations are the difficult ones. Some conversations they're not timely. You study, observe. And some conversations to respond to this are better put. So that I might need to say something to talk with. But I'm in a place where I say it to her, she will kill herself. So I'll then go and say it to you, because you're closer. I'll say it to Miriam, she's calmer. So say it to her. It's not necessarily gossip. So I appreciate at all that I hear it. So I had friends when one would come, Nima, I will never take this thing from her. I said, this room. I will now call down and say, come. I don't want you to tell her, I can kill you. I'll say, okay, don't worry. And then I'll call that person and say, can you improve certain things in your relationship with the other person? You take the feedback because the way you see it.
Let me tell you the danger in that. Let me tell you the danger in reported speech. The context is not the same. By the time you hear it...
It's not exactly context, it's the mindset.
Okay.
So there was something that happened around me, and my closest person I talk about on the show thought it was not going to be good if I hear it. So when I finally heard it, I felt betrayed. I went to her. She was like, Nima, there's no way that I will tell you this thing. It will hurt you, and I didn't want you to be hurt. I let it go. Good intentions. And the other person who told me, didn't even put it in context. Just the matter. The relationship is what I value, and I trust my best interest.
I like to know.
So I don't understand. So but mindset about friendships, as you see, I said it on the show the other time. My mom did not know shame about raising her children. Your flaws were discussed publicly. So when you know you have public court in our house, your head go correct. Yes. So till date, if you tell me, and even when you are telling me about my child, and I'm taking the lesson. I'm taking the sense and leaving the norm.
But that doesn't work for everybody.
Because it's people's mindsets and bigger person.
And I think one of the things Maya mentioned a bit that she's learned we're all different. And I've learned that in this show, I have learned a lot about friendship. Before your view, I've never had a group of girls that I have to relate with. And it shows in our relationship on the show when we are in good terms. And I've enjoyed that sisterhood a lot. I'm an only child. Mariam and BC, you guys share that similarity in wanting to have that conversation. I would rather just say, I beg, you see, this is the way Nima is. I love Nima. Nima loves me, Joe. Nima, it's okay. Let's not discuss it. But you discuss it.
It builds resentment. And, my opinion.
Yes. So for some, it builds resentment. Some people cannot. I mean, I can overlook it genuinely, and there's no resentment. But I have learned, and that is what life is about, is that we keep on learning. Yeah. I've learned that we can have that conversation. And I can call you and tell you, it's still not easy for me to initiate it. But when they say it, I'll address the issue and not take it as an attack.
Thank you so much, ladies. We have to go.
We're going for the
burial. And we are dressed ready for it. So thank you so much for being on the show. That's all we can take today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something and understand that life is in phases. Yes, make sure that your life is more of giving impact and not just what you are getting from other people. Exactly. That's all we can take today. We'll see you again on Monday. Bye-bye now.